Have you ever heard an effective evaluation? And you said, I want to be like that when I grow up. That was me about 4 years ago. I was watching the likes of Ingrid Richburg, Al Wiseman, Dwayne Smith give effective evaluations. And I wanted to do that. So what I did was I waited for that new member to come in, and I decided, I'm going to evaluate them. I gave that evaluation, and you know what? She never came back. So I decided right then that I could either become a student of evaluation, or I could end my Toastmasters career. What did I do? I became a student. So what I want to share with you today, I want to share all of the secrets that I learned to giving effective evaluations so that you can give those dynamic and powerful evaluations. And even if you're not a Toastmaster, you're still going to be able to use this, because giving effective feedback is universal. Everybody needs to be able to do that. In fact, guess what? When I was teaching first grade, I taught my first graders to do this. So everybody can use this. You guys ready?
Yes.
Okay. So now, I don't want you to think about evaluation in the context of, oh, I've got to give an evaluation, I'm not sure what I'm going to say. I want you to think about it now as a living, breathing organism. It's like a human being. It has a head, it has a heart, it has bones, and it has breath. So say that with me. It has a head, has a heart, has bones, and it has breath. So let's start with the first part, the heart. Now for me, the heart was probably the hardest part for me to get and to grasp. Now I'm about 40, and when I was growing up in school, we learned how to read, write, we learned arithmetic, but we really didn't learn how to think. I could regurgitate knowledge, but I didn't know how to assess or evaluate that knowledge. And that's what an evaluation truly is. It is an assessment. You are giving your opinion. You're using your opinion to measure, to assess, and to provide feedback based on a specific set of criteria. For Toastmasters, that criteria comes from a manual. We are using our manuals to provide that feedback. All of the objectives that we need are found in the manual. If you read the speech project, you'll know exactly what to talk to your speaker about. So you want to, when you're using your evaluation, you want to analyze the speech. What we often do as evaluators is, instead of deconstructing the speech, breaking that speech down, what we do instead is we redeliver the speech. We give that speech again. The audience doesn't benefit, nor does the speaker benefit, because they were trying to look for what they could do to improve the speech, but all you did was give the speech for them. So you want to make sure that you're analyzing the speech, that you're breaking that speech down. The other thing that you want to make sure to do is, if you are a newer speaker, don't be intimidated to evaluate someone that is more seasoned than you are. Your manual is going to help you. How many of you struggle with thinking about, when you're giving an evaluation, what am I going to actually say? How many of you struggle with that? The tip here is everything's in a book. For example, let me tell you what I do. Let's say, for example, it's an Organize Your Speech project. I take the evaluation. I read the entire project. I read the evaluation project at least twice, because I want to know exactly what that particular speaker needed to cover. And then what I do is, when I listen to that speech, I break that speech down. Did that particular speaker cover that specific objective, and in what method and manner did they cover it? When I'm providing that evaluation, if they didn't do certain things, those are the pieces that I cover. So I'll say, according to the manual, it said that when you were supposed to organize your speech, you were supposed to select an appropriate topic. Was this topic appropriate for the audience? And then I would provide that evaluation and give that particular feedback. Does that make sense? Okay. So now, head. Let's talk now about the heart. So when we think about the heart of your evaluation, I want you to look at your speaker, the person that you're evaluating, as if they are one of your closest friends. Closest friends. Now, Ingrid, we're friends, right? She didn't seem like she thought we were really friends. Hopefully we're friends, right, Ingrid? We're friends. Now, I would hope, Ingrid, that if I had lettuce in my teeth, you would tell me. Okay? So that's what it comes when we're talking about heart. You are speaking the truth to your speaker in love. Tell them the truth. If they didn't do such a good job, tell them the truth. But tell them in love. Be tactful. And when you deliver that, you also want to measure how much truth you're giving to the speaker based on their experience level. You wouldn't tell a brand new speaker who's getting up for the first time that about every single thing they did wrong. You wouldn't tell them everything. You give them one or two pieces because you want them to truly grow as a speaker. You want them to want to get back up here and do this again. So make sure that you're giving the truth in love. Do not whitewash. When you're whitewashing, what you're doing is you're giving them effusive praise. You're telling them all of the things that they did well. Well, that particular speaker is not going to grow from that. They need you to give them constructive feedback. So that's the heart. Next piece, bones. What do the bones do for your own body? They support, right? They provide structure. And that's what your evaluation should be. It should be structured. It needs to have a clear opening, a clear body, and a clear conclusion. You might open with, this is what I'm going to talk about. You might even open with, let me remind the audience of the objectives for this speaker. In your body, you're going to give 2 or 3 points, as well as your constructive feedback for that speaker. One of the things that you may want to avoid doing is reading all of the questions in the speech project. Remember, your evaluation is a speech. The other thing that you should remember is avoid phrases like, and we use these quite frequently, I look forward to your next speech, Jesse. Try to pull something from the speech to tie it in when you're closing out your evaluation. But avoid those trite phrases. The last piece is breath. And I think that this piece is probably the most important because you want to make sure that you're breathing life into that speaker. You want to make sure that you're motivating them. After they hear an evaluation from you, Faith, they should want to get up here each and every time to give that next dynamic speech. So we have to make sure that we're breathing life into them. And speak to your speaker before and after the evaluation, because you will then be able to tell whether you have demoralized them or whether you have helped and uplifted them.